All praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Now, I had a dream the other day, and it's funny. I kind of still vividly remember it because you had these zombies that were flesh-eating zombies, and they were trying to break into the house, and I was trying to keep them out. And there was a bunch of people around me, and I was like, help, help, and none of them wanted to listen to me, you know what I mean? And I was trying to fight them, and it's like, it came to a point where it was more than one trying to break into the house, and people realized they were going to break in. So at that point, they wanted to help me, but there were so many trying to break in at that point that it was inevitable that they were going to break into the house. And in my spirit, I kind of knew they were going to break in, so I kind of stopped trying to keep them out. Because if everybody helped when they were supposed to, we would have been able to kind of, keep them out, barricade it, and we would have been safe. But because they waited so long, they'd gotten so far into the house that it was inevitable that they were going to break in. And in that moment, I was like, you know what, I got a jet. So it's like I was leaving as everybody was trying to keep them out. I knew they were going to break in, so I was like, I have to get out of this house before it gets overrun. And I ended up getting out, and basically they got overrun and they got taken over. And that's very I wasn't saying a vision from the Lord, but it was a very spiritual dream. Normally I don't even remember my dreams, but I remember that, and it was very spiritual because that's kind of how the situation is. Even before you came in the truth, you sought righteousness. You were researching these world banks, the luminous or what have you, and you were speaking to people about how the world was set up, and people didn't want to listen to you. And by the time people kind of want to take heed to what you were saying, it's like at that point, people are going to be seeking the prophets, and they're not going to be anywhere to be found because they didn't seek the Lord when the way was open to them. And as I've been going around, I was walking through the park, and I see people's heads are kind of buzzing with what's going on. I heard somebody talking about how there might be some riots coming, and somebody was talking about how they were watching some conspiracy theorists and they're a bit left, or whatever the case may be. So it seems people are searching a lot more into alternative ideas and news outlets than they normally would have done when life was quote unquote all good. And for some reason the Lord had me I kind of wanted to go boxing again because gyms aren't open. So I was seeing whether I could go down to the boxing gym. This isn't a gym I've been to before. I've been to other ones, but not this one. And I went down there, and I started talking to the dude, and it was cool. We were talking about how society was. As a matter of fact, the man that owned the boxing gym, he said he had corona. He's the first person I've met that claimed he had corona. I didn't want to film him because I didn't want to invade his privacy, but he was talking about how he had like a consistent cough in his throat. And when you have that tickle in your throat and you always feel like coughing, he said he had that. He felt really bad. He felt lethargic. It was really bad for him in the mornings. And I was like, you're the first person I know that had it. And he said, yeah, people are calling me a bit of a celebrity because I'm the only person that they know that has had corona. He didn't have his mask on. He straight told me, he said, Rob, people having their mask on, they've told you it's useless. So I don't understand why, people are so eager to have these masks on, which make no sense. As the elder said, if you're wearing masks and gloves and you believe it's a way of protecting you, and the mask and gloves actually pick up the virus, then it makes no sense that you leave it on the floor or come in and leave it in your kitchen. These people are absolutely mad and don't have an understanding of anything. And the conversation kind of carried on from that to the chip, the new world order, so and forth. And I thought, what, let me see. And then I started talking about the Most High, but there was like, started talking about Muslim and Islam, and he said what what Bible, because I was like, you got to read the scriptures, and he was like, which ones, kind of patronizingly. And I had to explain to him certain things, because this has nothing to do with Islam, but the Lord didn't open up their eyes. These people, like, I was like, at the end of the day, they're going by what is said in the Bible, but he doesn't believe that the Lord is coming back. He said that these people are building an international space station and they're talking to people and talking to entities outside of here, but he doesn't believe that these entities might be, angels of the Most High, and it might be chariots, and it's like he had a half understanding of what's going on, but it's like you acknowledging it, but you don't want to fully acknowledge it. And we're talking about what came first, the chicken or the egg, because I asked him, how was man born? He said, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And I said, the Most High created a chicken, and the chicken laid an egg. It's not that deep. You know what I mean? But it's like, the kind of scoffers. But he weren't really scoffing. He was being respectful. And then I started talking about how this society is just structured all wrong by putting a woman up front. And it's supposed to be men who are leading, And I said, we're supposed to be subservient to God and His laws. And I started talking about how the Sabbath, you're supposed to Sabbath the land every 7 years. And this was a very good reminder. I don't normally do this, but they seemed like they was kind of with it. So I thought, I'd see whether or not they were with the word. And it just vexed me, because it's like they acknowledge that there's something wrong with it. And not him specifically, but there was another dude that was trying to make it seem as if I was, I wanted to lock women in the basement and abuse them, talking about Islam and all of this stuff. And it's like, whenever you talk about how women should be in their place, people always kind of want to revert to Islam. And that really pissed me off, you know what I mean? And and me, him, and the other dude, we'd been with women for a prolonged period of time. So we knew that we understood the psychology of women. But this guy was an idiot, because he was talking about how women are equal to men, but he'd never been with a woman. So, like, how would you know a woman's psychology when you haven't been with a woman? And, I was talking about, black people this and white people that, and then he started coming with that stupid idea of saying, we're all people. I don't see no difference in color. And at that point, when it says if you don't perceive wisdom from somebody, you should remove yourself far from them, because there's a lot of people who you can just listen to them and have a conversation with them, and you can tell they're completely stupid. They're ignorant of what's going on. You know what I mean? They don't have a clue what's going on, because he's acting like I want to abuse women, and that wasn't my intention or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? And he was talking about how women are equal to men and all of this stuff. And it's like he was the only one that was coming with his perspective, even though you could tell he'd never been with a woman. And I said, you've been with a woman before? Maybe you've been with a white woman. You know what I mean? And he's like, don't worry about who I've been with. These times I was having a conversation with somebody else. I wasn't even talking to him. So you butted in, and you want to act like you're holier than thou, like you understand. But how you supposed to? If I'm talking about this car isn't a good car, and I've driven a car, and you're like, well, everybody says it's not a bad car, but it's a good car, and you've never driven it, you sound like a fool, because you don't have personal experience to then turn around and try to talk about something you know nothing about. And this goes into 2 Peter 2:7, and the Most High delivered just Lot, and Lot was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. For that righteous man dwelling among them in seeing and hearing vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. See, these people don't realize how women are supposed to behave and how you as a man is supposed to behave. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished, but chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise government. Presumptuous are they, self-willed, they are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. Because I was talking about how there's supposed to be order and how men are supposed to lead. Then this guy started talking about how, and he was implying, he didn't outright say it, but he was like, some people think they're leaders and they're not. I'm like, you don't know me, man. You're talking about being a leader. A leader's supposed to be responsible and take accountability of what he's doing. You act like being in a leadership position is all, hunky-dory, like you don't have to take responsibility, so on and so forth, and I just, I perceived that there was no wisdom in them, because he was saying, at the end of the day, if I'm talking about the Bible and I'm being subservient to man, and I said that there's such a thing as order. It's like I went to the man's place, the man owns a business. I can't go in this place of business and act like I'm on the same level as him. I have to be subservient to him, I have to understand that there's order, it's his place, and I have to be respectful of that. But if you're saying we're all equal, that means that I can go into somebody else's house and act like I'm equal to that person in their own house. or in their own situation. And that makes no friggin' sense. And this is how you know most of these black people are a bunch of morons. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know nothing of science, nothing of biology, nothing of science, nothing of psychology, nothing about spirituality. Never read a book a day in their lives, but yet they're so deluded about the level of their intellect, and they think they can actually have a conversation with you, and they have absolutely nothing to offer the conversation than to actually show how stupid they are. It pisses me off. This is why I don't like talking to people, because every single time I talk to someone, they just vex me with the level of it just like Second Peter said, you're just vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, because they talk absolute trash, and these people are filthy. They're filthy spiritually, they're filthy physically, they're filthy mentally. They don't have a clue what's going on, And in Isaiah 26:10 it says, "Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord." So you can give the land into these people, and you can let them have run of the world, but they're not going to act right. You got these people in Israel, these so-called Jewish people, they're in the land of uprightness, and they're not dealing nothing right. They're not doing anything. There's no peace on earth. How are they the Jews? But yet people will perceive them to be the Jews. Never read the Bible, don't understand history, don't understand psychology, don't understand spirituality. You're fat. The guy was a fat dude, spitting every single time he talks, and he's talking about being a leader. And he's talking about people can't take care of themselves. These times you can't take care of yourself. Clearly you can't take care of yourself if you're spitting, you got a lisp and a big nose. You look retarded in the face. You look like you can always tell a man by his countenance. He looked like he was mentally retarded. He looked mentally slow. Never had a woman. I can look at him and I know you never had a woman in your life. You're probably still a virgin. You probably had to pay. And yet you want to talk about women and how women are equal. And it's not even like... But these guys are fools, man. I don't even feel the need to kind of dignify a response to them, man. And it's not to say I'm righteous, because, in Ezekiel 36:32 here, "Not for your sakes do I do this, saith the Lord God. Be it known unto you. Be ashamed and confounded for your own ways, O house of Israel." So the Lord isn't going to come to, get the elect because of our own righteousness, which is as filthy rags. He's doing it because his name is riding on it. And these people don't understand this. They think that these people are going to build a system and they're going to run the world and rule the earth forever, because they don't have no faith. It's completely out of the scope of their imagination and intellect to understand that the Lord has got this, and everybody else is in a trick bag thinking they know something when they don't. Ezekiel 33:31. "And they came unto thee as a people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their own covetousness." And when you speak to the normal Christian person, they'll talk about how they go to church on Sunday and talk about God, but you're sitting there eating pork. You've been with a whole bunch of men trying to act like you're righteous, and you're as far from righteousness as you can possibly be, but yet you want to sit there and act like you're a Christian. These times you never even read the Bible, not one day in your life. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do this and I do that, but I read the Bible years ago. I'm reading it again, and when I finish reading it, I'm going to go through it again one more time, and I'm going to keep reading it. I'm going to keep reading it till my understanding increases and increases, because I know there's knowledge and wisdom in that book, but people don't perceive that there's knowledge and wisdom in that book. And you can see that they don't perceive that, because when you have a conversation with them, you can see that they're completely devoid of judgment, righteousness, anything. These people are filthy and they disgust me, man. We have Ezekiel 23:9. "Wherefore I have delivered her into the hand of her lovers, into the hand of the Assyrians, upon whom she doted." So black people like to suck up to white people all day, talk about how white people are so great, and we're all the same, and they want to suck up to them. And the Lord was like, "Oh, you want to suck up to these people so much? I'm gonna give you into their hands." And these discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and daughters and slew her with the sword, and she became famous among women, for they had executed judgment upon her. And when her sister Aholibah saw this, she was more corrupt in her inordinate love than she, and in her whoredoms more than her sister and her whoredom. She doted upon the Assyrians, her neighbours, captains and rulers, clothed most gorgeously, horsemen riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men. And black people can see how other black societies have actually fallen to white people, and instead of perceiving how these people, how they truly are, what do? They sit there sucking up to them, talking about how we're all equal and how these people are great people. And I'm gonna have to do this video in 2 parts. So for the second part here,